Hello and welcome once again. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Stabs, what are you doing? You're uploading another video already. You're normally quite the lazy bastard and don't upload anything for months and then drop something on us, and this is like a week now and the third video. Reason I'm uploading another one so quickly is mainly as a thank you. People have been very supportive over my videos through Twitter or in comments and whatever else, and it's really appreciated. I know that I'm new to all this and there's much better people to watch out there, so anyone that does tune in and watches this, a massive thank you to you, because you're awesome basically, because I do this as a bit of a hobby and because I like making videos, but sometimes it does get a bit disheartening when you put your time and effort and all the rest of it and you don't get much feedback. Feedback's so important to keeping your mindset in the good zone and to keep yourself going. So yeah, thank you everybody for all your support. It does mean a lot. But anyway, this video, people big me up sometimes and they comment that I'm quite handy in a helicopter on BF3, and yes, definitely flying a helicopter on Battlefield 3 is by far my favourite thing to do. It's just awesome, it's just what I like doing in the game, and sometimes it's really difficult to actually get in a helicopter and have a good game. I was quite fortunate that this was one of those times. I started off with Sir Monkey Butler as my co-pilot, and he disconnected unfortunately, so I had to very quickly find a random to jump in, because a helicopter without a gunner is as useful as, let's say, an iPad without internet connection, or fish without water, or any other kind of rubbish analogy that I can't think of at this moment in time. So as soon as I realised I'd lost my gunner, I knew I needed to pick another one up. So that's exactly what I did, and I was quite fortunate that this the random guy that was in my squad was happy capping a flag, and I landed, and it was pretty obvious that I wanted him to gun for me. Now, I don't normally like taking a chance on randoms. I like to have a gunner I can speak to and everything else, but I was quite fortunate this time. He was a good guy, and he was a bloody good gunner as well, and we kind of reacted well with each other, and once I realised what he was doing and how he was scanning, then I could fly for him, if you like, which a lot of pilots don't seem to do. They like to fly for themselves, and it's really annoying being a gunner as well. If you're trying to find targets and stuff and the pilot's going that quickly that you just can't literally scan the horizon. But anyway, I digress. Moving on to the gameplay itself. When I'm in a helicopter, I like to try and play the objective, and I like to try and play for the team as much as I possibly can. And I found there's a few tricks to being able to do this successfully, instead of just flying around and making a lot of noise but not actually doing anything for the team. And one of those things I like to call there's like a dead zone almost, and it's all to do with the altitude that you keep. I've noticed if you fly too high and you engage jets and everything else, then you just piss jets off and you're going to make yourself a target if you fly that high. The higher you are, the easier it is for a jet to come and guide onto you and take you out. If you fly too low, then you're an easy target for rockets and tanks and everything else. If you stay in the kind of middle area, you become a much more difficult target, and if you bounce between the three kind of tiers, you do become a difficult target. So that's what I like to do, and by doing that you tend to stay in the air for a little bit longer. Also, you've got to be fluid, you've got to move around the map a lot, instead of just staying in one place. If you stay in one place and are dominating a particular area, then you become a pain in the arse and people start taking you out. But if you seem to move around a lot more, and you move to the flags and pay attention to the map and see where people are going and follow your ground forces, you're a lot less noticeable to the enemy team. It sounds a bit convoluted and a bit messy, and that's because I'm talking really quick and talking a load of bollocks probably, but believe me or not, it works. If you move with your ground forces and you dip between the flags and don't hang around and hog a specific area, people do tend to ignore you. Now you can see straight away, as soon as I see a helicopter, I'll take them out. The biggest threat to your helicopter is the enemy's one. They're the ones that can track you the easiest, stay on your level, and they are your biggest threat. So if you do see a helicopter come up in the air, then turn your attention to those straight away. As you can see, I'm flying around, and all the time I'm trying to pay attention to the map. Not many people do, believe it or not. You still see people not doing it. It's such an asshole thing to do. If you see that you're losing a flag and you're in a heli, it's my job to get over there. I'm going to get over there quicker than anyone else can. I can get over there, see what's going on, and if people are capping it, I can take them out. Or as you can see, as I'm flying around now, kind of showing the underbelly of the helicopter to the ground, then the gunner can scan and easily take things out. And it's very, very simple. All the time when I'm flying, I'm always mashing the back button, because it's what I do. It will light stuff up, it will spot things that you might not notice that are there, it will give you a clue. And then if you just have to let off 1 or 2 rockets, you might not take it out yourself. If you've got a competent gunner, like I have here, he's going to see those things and be shooting at them as well. You can see a lot, you can hear and see a lot of alarms going off and a lot of beeping. That's because on my helicopter class setup, I've got the laser painter, flares, and I believe at this time I was using the guided rockets. The can't remember the actual name of them, but they aim a little bit more precisely. No, I wasn't. What am I talking about? I've got air-to-air missiles. That's what I've got. But yeah. So it will lay targets for you, and I was very, very fortunate that this random guy that I picked up had his guided rocket also. So when I laser tank, he can just loose his rocket off and do double the damage. I can then finish it off with the rocket pods. Happy days. Absolute happy days. So you can see now we're getting like halfway through the map. I've not been took out yet because I'm got to keep moving. That is the key thing when I'm flying a helicopter. People say, you know, you go very, very quiet when you're flying a heli. It's all about concentration. You know, I can see people spawning there, and it's because I'm kind of in a zone. And you notice that I'm not loosing rockets off that much. I may do it every now and again, but it's mainly to guide where I want the gunner to fire, because like I say, I couldn't talk to him. So the best way to kind of communicate with him is by showing him in any way I can. And the best way I thought of doing that was by loosing a few rockets off. That kill, I think it came from a collapsing building, but there we go. Hear the alarm go off, straight away turn onto that helicopter, because I knew that was going to end particularly badly. Now, you notice here that I'll always try and land after being damaged, because that's what I do. You can get away with it. Normally, if you're going down smoking, that helicopter will kind of ignore you, think he's guaranteed for the kill. Landing out of bounds is always a good thing as well. You've got nearly 10 seconds there. You can get a decent fix on and jump back in, and as soon as you jump back out, it resets. Exactly what I did. So we were good. That helicopter hadn't finished us off. We got the drop on him straight away, gaining the higher ground, and we could do the business on him. Boom, gone. See, there's lots of little tips and tricks to kind of keep you going and keep you in the air for that little bit longer. And I really do think that keeping in that dead zone is a key part of that, which I'll keep referring to, because it works. It works for me. Lots of people have their own kind of play style, I suppose. A lot of helicopter pilots seem to like flying as high in the air as they possibly can, and to try and take out all jets, all helicopters. That's great if you can do that, but if you start buzzing the jets too much, they're going to start getting a bit aggrieved with you, and they will come for you. And also, you've got a guy there in your gunner seat who can't do anything because you're too high to do anything of any real value. So dipping between the 3 tiers makes a great bit of difference, because you can deal with enemy helicopters, your gunner can deal with people on the ground, and you can deal with people on the ground. Clearing flags out, clearing them out, for your ground forces to move in. There's so much to think about to be a competent pilot, but it's all very, very much common sense. That was not me using common sense whatsoever. I thought I'd cleared the area out. The flag hadn't been taken. He spawned. Good small shot to the underside of the heli, and boom. That was my one death thus far, and we're halfway into the game. As you can see, it started getting hit by a jet there, so straight away, just get out of there. It's really not worth it. Just get close to the ground. It's more difficult to see. Find your target and get back onto it. And again, we're damaged quite badly, so best thing to do is land the helicopter properly before you try and get out. What happened there, basically the helicopter rolled on top of me and I died. Respawn. Fortunately my gunner was very, very clever. He is an engineer, which is a key thing. If you're going to jump in a heli, you've got to be an engineer as a gunner or a pilot. It's the way it is. So we fixed up and we're straight back up in the air, doing the doing. And basically cleaning house. Every flag that we saw that was dropping or getting capped, as you can see there, I'm kind of rolling around the flag, just letting the gunner do the work. I'm getting points for it as well. It's, you know, you don't have to be the kamikaze pilot that just gets in there and fires rockets and doesn't moves that quickly that your gunner can't do anything. Your gunner is the one to do the work in a heli. You fly for your gunner, and I can't emphasise that enough. If you do like flying, please fly for your gunner, because it's so frustrating as a gunner. As I said before, just to keep going, it really pisses me off. So yeah, the round's starting to come to a better position for us now. We've got them capped at A. At this point, my role is to try and kind of keep them at A, stop them from breaking out of there, until our ground troops can kind of work our way up. I was talking to some Monkey Butler because he'd rejoined, and he was kind of telling me in the party what was going on the ground, if I couldn't see it, telling me where people were going. Yeah, at this point my role was to keep them at A and let our ground forces move down and try and get that cap. I noticed that we start losing another flag, so straight away fly over there, because I'm like a first responder. I can get over there the fastest. So we get over there and start onto C and do what damage we can do. And it works. You know, they stop capping the flag. Straight back onto A to keep them there, because that's the only place they're going to spawn. Some may spawn at their deployment, but mainly they're all spawning at A trying to get out. And if we can keep them from breaking out, the game is won. Definitely. And my flying went a bit wrong, and I got tangled in trees. Don't know how, don't ask how, and don't ask how the hell I recovered from that, because I don't know. I don't know. The Havoc that I'm using there is definitely a little bit more cumbersome than the American Forces one, the Cobra. I'm not overly keen on the Havoc. It does seem a little bit more cumbersome, a little bit more slower to react than the Cobra. But as you can see now, we've got all the flags, and the only thing that's left to do is stop them breaking out of their spawn. Now, I'm not a wanker, I'm not a douche, and I don't like spawn killing, so as soon as I get too close, you notice I'll start pulling back and getting out of the way. And also we were losing that flag. Once they're out of the spawn, in my eyes they're fair game, as long as it's not too close to the spawn. As you can see here, I've come in, I could engage the rest of the targets, but no, I'll come straight back out. It's sportsmanship, it's the way I play. I don't like being spawn camped, so I'm not going to spawn camp others, because it's just a wanker move, it's just a wanker thing to do. And at this point we're becoming a pretty big target for the enemy team now. We are, we're dominating, we're top on the leaderboards, and a jet doesn't like it, so decides to plough into us. And there you go. I understand that this is a long video and I've waffled on quite a lot. Hopefully I gave you some decent tips on how to stay in there for that little bit longer. Thank you very, very much for watching once again. And at this point I was trying to find the guy's name. I was going to send him a message saying good game, which I did in the end, because that's the kind of person I am. But again, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you learned something, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.